All right. Be alive, folks. Here we go.
All right.
Money means nothing to me, nor boxing, when it comes to the freedom of your people. So everything I'm doing, if it means hitchhike tomorrow, if it means be raggedy, if it means look for a job, I'll be happy because I can go to bed, my conscience is clear, and I didn't sell out or trade my people just because I could be rich in Hollywood with a yacht out here on my, that could be my yacht right there. Imagine it's valued at $200,000, but I wouldn't want that damn yacht if I couldn't go back over in the black neighborhood and protest a black woman being raped. The hell with the yacht, the hell with the championship. So I want the people to know this, you understand?
We got to flex a different way. We out here in a game. This the money game. This ain't the black man's game. This ain't the white man's game. This is the money game.
But
we in the money game. And you cannot sacrifice yourself. The best thing you can do for poor people is not be one of them. You cannot help them.
We're in the money game. But let me tell you what the game is before the money game.
Like
before the money game, it's called the integrity game. And we've lost the integrity worrying about the money.
But Mo,
and wait a minute.
If I crumble, my children.
It's the integrity game. Some people don't have that.
When are you colored folks? And I got to keep it 100 with you. When are you colored folks? No, we're not talking about white people because they're not here protesting talking about white lives matter. When are you colored folks going to stop resisting arrest? You tell me today, when are you going to stop resisting arrest? I don't want to hear nothing. If you are resisting arrest, nothing matters. If you are resisting arrest, in my opinion, you done started something, you done put yourself in a situation. But in this particular situation, not only was Dum Dum McDum resisting arrest, he then produced a firearm and got shot. I don't know what other mathematical equation you think gonna come out of that.
Is Brandon Tatum. He's a conservative former police officer who thinks black people just need to comply.
I did, and I got beat.
Right to the story. Let's pull it up. Pull it full screen so you ain't got no excuses. Dante Wright. I just want people to internalize this real quick. If you were the person, and shout out to River for writing this amazing article. This is fire. Thank you, River. Shout out to the writer, Tatum Report writer. Y'all know we do it big. Y'all should go ahead and donate to them and make sure they can continue to write and do their thing. Now, people that have supported Dante Wright, you put his name on your helmet, you wore a T-shirt, you were screaming in the middle of the street, protesting, spitting and cussing and rolling all on the ground in the name of too many black men are getting gunned down in the streets by the police, and they just don't care about black and brown bodies. And this is a young man, he wasn't doing nothing wrong, and he was turning his life around like they always do after they get killed. If you were one of these people that was
what a lovely brother.
There were 3 African-American coaches in the National Football League. We are 19 years removed from the institution and implementation of the Rooney Rule, and there is now 1 head coach. There have been about 7 or 8 openings this offseason for NFL head coaches. 5 people have been hired. None of them have been black. There's 1 franchise that has not had 1 single black coach. That's the New York Giants. And we don't even want to get started. I know you had a black GM, but you have never hired a black coach. When you're talking about 53 men on a roster, practice squad, and everything like that, basically you're talking about you don't trust an African-American to be a leader of men. That's the Giants organization, okay? So nobody's giving you the benefit of the doubt. You better be able to prove something, and that's something else. Denver Broncos, different matter.
All right. Let's do one more.
If I'm not mistaken, I think the NFL is using Loretta Lynch as their lawyer in this case. They hired a black woman as their lawyer. Chess move, by the way. And this is the same lawyer that the NFL used in the investigation against the Washington football team with 650,000 emails. The only thing they found was John Gruden.
John Gruden.
I mean, if there was no transparency and accountability in that case.
All right, folks, here we go. Bringing the heat.
Let's do it.
All right, what's up, everybody? Hey.
Hey.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, Kev, Pam, Tanya?
Hey.
What's up, everybody?
Hello, hello.
All right.
What's up, Four Black Comics?
We are now, we got to also change our name to Cinco.
3 comics and friends.
3 comics and a half. Yeah.
3 comics. Welcome, everyone, to our Wednesday night spot. Here we are, the 5 Black Comics, and bringing you the heat on the topics that has gotten us in trouble and has caused others to resign and head for the hills because we bring too much heat, I guess you could say. Please, if you're watching, what's that, Kev?
Nothing. I was out of trouble.
Hey, you know, we're comics. We have no filter.
That is true.
We have no filter. How many times have you said something on stage? I don't know if you, I'm sure you haven't. You get off and it didn't go the way you thought, and you feel so horrible because it went not the way, and everybody hates you, and you know, it bugs the shit out of me for a while. It's what we do. Thanks to everyone for watching. Please, if you're checking us out on YouTube, please like, share, subscribe. You know, do all that stuff so we can get these algorithms going and we can get more subscribers. So far, we have very few naysayers. We got a few Europeans that have popped in and said our show is racist.
Europeans.
Europeans.
But I was of Europeans.
So I don't know where they see the racism in our show, but you can watch the show and you can tell your friends. And if you spot any racism, please point it out to us because we bring nothing but facts. We don't make anything up. We do a lot of research before we open our mouths. So if we are wrong about anything, feel free to let us know. I'm going to, if anyone that's watching, if you want to jump on this topic tonight, I'm going to put the link in the chat and you feel free to jump on and share your opinion. Also, I want to add the most popular show we did was the African Americans versus the Africans versus Caribbean people. It's gotten over 50,000 views on YouTube, and a lot of people are asking when are we going to do that topic again because they want to get in on it. So we will be doing that soon, so please watch for that. Now, let's get to the matter at hand. So, why isn't all Black people on code? It seems like every group seems to be on code. But when it comes to Black people, we can't seem to stay on code. We recently just learned that Loretta Lynch, the former AG of the United States, I got that right? She was the AG appointed by Barack Obama. Mm-hmm. A Black woman has been appointed to represent the NFL from the lawsuit by Black manager. What's his name?
Willie Lynch.
My bad. Yeah, they're being sued by a Black manager because he found out that I guess I was reading up on the Rooney Rule, and there's some rule where they have to interview a Black person when they're doing interviews for head coaches, and apparently they were just doing it as a mere formality because the brother that was interviewed for a coaching position in the NFL, they had already made up their mind, and he has lots of evidence. They had already made up their mind that he will not be the one, but they just did it just to entertain him, I guess. But now, what has a lot of black people, not all black people, but what has a lot of black people upset is that Loretta Lynch took the job of defending the NFL. Now, I cannot even imagine what her defense is going to be. We've all seen it. I mean, it's right there. Like, there are how many NFL 85% black, I think.
70%.
Well, they try to lower the stats. Come on, you know what that is. They're gonna take out the Latino, they take out the other, and that's why they have a lower percentage, like 58%. But the truth is, add them in, because how did you get the little tan? I'm just saying, it's
70% black.
Yes, 70%.
Oh, let's go with 70. Even 70% black, and not many black coaches. And we all know why. And I'm gonna go to you first, Kev, but because they don't think black people are smart. That's just cut the bullshit. They don't think we can do. I'm not a football fan. I admit it, but it just doesn't go for football. They don't think we're smart enough to be quarterback. They don't think we're smart enough to run a team.
Take brains.
That's what we're saying. You know what I mean? They don't think we're smart enough to work in the head office. I saw an interview with a guy that works for the NFL. He said he works for the NFL in their office, but no, there are no black people in any positions of power to make any critical decisions. So they have given them jobs. The black people have jobs in the NFL, but to make a crucial decision, they have to go to a white person. So I mean, you say, hey, we hire black people. Yeah, but come on, really. So Kevin, I'm gonna go to you first. And what do you think of Loretta Lynch? Why can't we stay on code? You can go with that, or you can,
Well, the great Malcolm X, which I'm wearing a Malcolm X shirt tonight because I think it's 56 years this week that he was assassinated. Actually, February 21st is the anniversary of his assassination, which is a few days ago. So it's been 56 years. Wow, since his assassination.
A lifetime.
Yeah. So Malcolm X said that whenever you want to, find some, when a white man says something, what the first thing they do is they go get a black person that agrees with them, to make sense. So, and what he was saying was exactly what the NFL owners just did. They went and got a black person to represent, because these high-powered billionaires can afford any lawyer or prosecutor, whatever, anybody in the world, right? And they went and got, they didn't hire none of their lawyers that worked for them, because obviously they're probably white people. But for this case, they went and got a black woman because they just want to use black people against black people.
Optics.
Divide and conquer. It's like one of the oldest things ever, and that's what they're doing. So they got her to come in, and so they can say, look, we got a black woman representing us, and we're not racist, because we're racist while we have this black woman representing us. That's one reason why. And like I said, it's just, or like Malcolm said, whenever a white man says something, they go get a black person, to offset what, their motives, so they're just using her. And what bothers me is she don't know she's being used. I mean, a smart lady, intelligent lady, successful lady.
Does she not?
Doesn't know she's being used. I know she's being paid handsomely for this job, but she's already paid before she took the job. So it's not like her rent's due next week. So this is not a financial move, is it? I mean, she's okay in that department, I would suspect. So this is not a financial move, I don't think, but so I think that, but where's the outrage? Why aren't more people outraged? Why are more African Americans or black people in general outraged, at her or the NFL for this move, which is, like you said, Carl, they think we're stupid because they do stuff like we don't know what they're doing. Like we don't see what you're doing. We see what you're doing and we know why you're doing it, but you still do it because you think that we aren't smart enough to recognize it, I guess. It doesn't make sense, it's a slap in the face. She took the job to represent them against their racism. That's just weird.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, but like you said earlier, we're the only group. You're never going to find, like, if this was, you know, Jewish people, they wouldn't find a Jewish lawyer to come in and fight on their behalf. You know, it just wouldn't happen. Or Asian, you know, it just or Hispanic. It's just always us. We're just easily manipulated, man.
Mm-hmm.
At this stage of the game, it's late in the game too. We shouldn't be. 400 years in, we're still easily manipulated. And it's sad.
Yeah. I want to read a couple of comments. I've always gotten this young lady's name wrong, and she did pronounce it for us the last time, I think. Maracharis, Maracchar. Well, why don't we just call her Mary? Mara, I'm so sorry. If you can break it down for us one more time. But she said, she asked, where was Flores when Kaepernick was taking a knee?
Thank you. Exactly. Boom. There it is.
Where was Flores when Kaepernick was taking a knee? That is a very excellent point and a very good question.
Yep. Good one.
Yeah. Where was he? Because
I was going to go there. Yep.
Yeah. Because it wasn't affecting his pocket, so he really didn't care. But now it is. Now he wants us all to come in and join him. You know, so when we that is a very, very good question. So Tanya, I'm going to go to you next. The NFL is 70% black, but the ownership is what, 100% white? There are no.
Yes.
And so let's say like Jet Magazine, right? What if they were bitching because there are no white CEOs at Jet Magazine? You think that'd be a legitimate argument? Or like Ebony or some black, or I can't think of any other blackity black. Or this is different. I'm just playing devil's advocate here because you know how people, you know what I mean?
They wouldn't care. They wouldn't want to own Jet Magazine, quite frankly. I don't think they would want to even own it. So it's not even the same. It's not this. It won't be the same because they won't even recognize it or want a part of it. So it's all good. What I want to talk about is Loretta Lynch. Well, Flores. We'll go back to Flores. The young lady made a very good point. Where was he? And not just him, but where was everybody for poor Colin? But it just strikes me also when I was looking at some parts of the cases, you know, with the accusations, I noticed that, you know, I thought about it and said, wait a minute. So this has been going on for how long? And you're coming forward now because of what? Okay. So that tells me he's been sitting on the, you know, the diamonds for a long time. Okay. He's been sitting on this for a long time. And now all of a sudden it's coming out, which I don't mind. It better late than never, fine. But it's just, to me, still like somebody on the chat said that, you know, he's kind of shady character questionable. And I was like, shady character questionable. Yeah, like you're kind of late. There's a lot of people who are making claims and you didn't even step in to help them. Like even the guys who are making claims that they filed for disability and they can't get it because they're black, because there's a harder tactic for judging black, which is still discrimination. So I'm like, okay, you got this fact. And now they just settled something I saw where they were going to drop the NFL concussion, you know, the concussion settlement. They'll drop the race-based checking thing. I was like, really? Okay, just in time. But so, you know, the history is there of what's going on. But Loretta Lynch, I just want to say, this is clearly a case of Uncle Ruckus. Or as they say, you know, they send the house Negro to get on them ones out there picking that cotton. That's kind of how I feel. And I'm not saying that she is super qualified, super bright. She would never have made it this far. So I am not saying that at all. She's definitely somebody I would want her on my team if I was the NFL. I mean, it's a smart move on their half, but it also is I call it, the excuse the expression, it is the ultimate white slave master move. I'm gonna show Carl, and I'm gonna have Pam go over there and show him for me. You see what I'm saying? It's like the Karen move. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get this black person fired from their job. You know what I'm saying? So, and then I'll get the black person to go tell them they fired. So this is a repeated theme since the day they took us off the first boat, quite frankly. So I'm not shocked. But for her, I'm shocked that she did it. But I guess, who knows? She has her reasons. And a good lawyer probably would say, let me see if I can win this. So I'm not going to hate on her. I just think it's messed up. But I can't hate on her. She's an attorney. That's her job. And the more juicy the case, the more juicy most lawyers, a lot of lawyers, I'll say, what is their aim? To get the biggest, juiciest case possible, no matter who it can be. Jeffrey Dahmer. They want to represent him because if they win, they look good. So, I'm not going to hate, but no one should be surprised. This is the master has always sent the house Negro, to go out and get the ones in the field. Excuse the expression, but that's how I feel about it. So I'm not shocked.
Yeah. I'm not. Let me see. I want to read another comment. Well, first of all, somebody loves your shirt, Kev. Is it Keith or Anthony's? I just saw a comment.
Thank you.
Anthony said he wants to know where he can get one. Get one of those. They are very authentic. They are $100 each. But you can
actually close.
Are you serious? I was kidding.
Tight.
I mean, before I get to Pam, I can't understand what the NFL. I mean, how many years has the NFL been around?
Oh gosh,
right. And they have 70% of the players in the NFL are black, and you're telling me that they cannot find, at least half of the coaches in the NFL should be black
since the 1920.
So you're telling me that these players can play the game well, right? Create all this wealth for them, excellent on the field, but they have no knowledge of how the game goes? That makes absolutely no sense.
1922. Wow.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, 1922.
I have 1920.
No, you're right. 1922.
You see what I'm saying? But I don't, right? I mean, like, they have all these great players. The players are great, but they can't coach or they can't manage.
Oh,
Pam? We're gonna go to
so
you.
To answer your last question, not everyone can coach, not everyone can manage.
Mm-hmm.
You can play and not have those skills. However, just by the pure numbers, you can't imagine that you can't have a really good pool of people who have played who also can do those things. It's just a matter of looking and being open to the fact that people who don't look like them could actually give a great performance in those areas. It's just BS. So yeah, there's no excuse for what they do. They keep it the good old boys network. They keep it really tight.
That's it.
And that means that they keep it really white. As far as Loretta is concerned, Loretta is an attorney. And just like defense attorneys, people say, how could you defend that rapist? How could you defend that murderer? How could you defend, and people who do atrocious things? And they're usually, at least what I've seen on television, they say, well, it's about practicing law and everyone is do their, the best defense I can give and blah, blah, blah. And also, I've heard it said by attorneys is that they say the courtroom is a stage and they look to set the scene and they to set the texture of what is going to be displayed. And yeah, they're going to look for a Black woman, just like how on the OJ trial they had Charles Darden, was that his name?
Yeah, Darden.
Yeah. Why was he second chair? Chris Darden, excuse me. Yes. They do that. And as Tanya said, she's a very extremely intelligent woman. She's probably more than capable of trying to give them a defense. I don't see it as her being a sellout. I just think of it as, like Tanya said also, it's a chance for her to shine, and it's a high profile, and I'm sure they're putting those zeros at the back of the check, which makes it even sweeter. I don't know if she's going to, if her integrity is going to be tarnished because of that. You know, in the Black community, yeah, we will probably give her a side eye, but at the end of the day, you know, that is her profession. And with every case that they take, they make a decision as to what they're going to do, but you know, if they're willing to swallow that pill.
Let me push back on that a little about money.
Mhm.
I mean, that seems to be the downfall for a lot of Black people. I mean, we saw the clip with Muhammad Ali. You know, I mean, he clearly said, you know what I mean, there's not enough money in the world for him that would make him forsake his people. You know, and then they showed a clip mirroring what Ali said with Steve Harvey. For him, it was all about money.
Yep.
You know, and Monique was all about asking about where's the integrity, and I think that's a big issue, is that Black people, I think, I think it's because we've been held back for so long, and we want to get so much so soon. We are trying to get as much money as we can because we just almost recently, just started being able to own stuff, and you know what I mean, and become a little freer after all those hundreds of years of slavery and Jim Crow. But and we can even talk about Dave Chappelle. They talk about him turning down $50 million. And I saw an interview where he said he kind of felt like he was being used and being laughed at. You know what I mean? And there wasn't any amount of money in the world that would make him go back and do another season because he felt like they were using him. He talked about one sketch he did, and he was embarrassed by it. It had something to do with him being a little Black man. You know how they make those lawn ornaments you put on the lawn? It was a
stocky.
Yeah, I remember.
And he said he asked them not to put it on, not to run that sketch, and they did anyway. You know, and he turned down all that money and said, "No, I'm not doing this anymore." But apparently, we Black people, we don't have that. You know, and I think
that's not. I don't think that's fair to say that. I don't think that's fair to say that.
Yeah.
What?
Because it's not really Black people. It's just those particular people that are taking the buyouts. You know what I'm saying? That it's not all of us. It's just like it's not all white people. It's not all Black people taking the buyout.
And to be fair in this situation and in others, we have not heard the whole thing. I am sure that they did what they did, but it'll be interesting to see what her spin on it is going to be. You know, and hear it out first before we say that she's, you know, she's selling out for the almighty dollar. She's like everybody else who's earning a paycheck, and I don't unless she comes out with some really outlandish bullshit. I think that we need to just take her at face value at this point. You know, it's just like any other person would be Jewish who are defending whomever. I can't really think of a cross on that, but you know, I don't know. I'm holding my judgment on her until she shows her ass.
Yeah.
I'm not. I already judged her. Sorry, and that's only because of the concept.
Cool.
We put her business out. They say she has a net worth of $1 million, but they could earn $6 million.
That's it.
Representing the NFL.
She's in government. What I mean?
What? That's it.
She used to be in government.
I'd do it too. She needs money.
Okay, Marcia said the majority of us aren't Muhammad Ali, and I mean, I wasn't saying, but I understand why people take money, because who knows when this kind of money is going to come back again, and most of the families to look out for.
Right.
You know,
but we're assuming that she's only doing it because of that. I don't think that's
no. I'm not. I don't think it's the money. I just think I think it's the manipulation. I don't think she's doing it for money. I mean,
I think it's the fun of the case. That would be the best.
She's doing it.
It's juicy.
It is very juicy. I mean, you know,
it's just like Johnny Cochran took certain cases. Like all these big lawyers, they take the spotlight cases, because that in turn drums up more business for them going along the way.
Exactly. If she was the witness, boy, she gonna be super bad.
She
Super
also
bad.
will probably get a partnership somewhere. You know, all those things. It's a career move.
I'm sure they put the stake in front of her. I'm sure of that. Trust me.
So money comes before integrity is what we're saying.
For them, for her.
I don't see the battle there. I don't understand why you think that it's her integrity. Her integrity is not intact because she's taking this particular case.
Because Carla's saying if Muhammad Ali was a lawyer and the NFL came to him, he would probably tell them go, you know.
Okay, but that's Muhammad Ali.
But everybody's not. Everybody's not Malcolm X, and everybody's not Muhammad Ali. Those two dudes are cut from a
very
different
unusual.
You know?
Yep, you wouldn't come
and
find
they didn't have a price. They had no price. You couldn't pay them to sell out their people. I'm not saying she's selling out her people. I'm just saying you couldn't pay those two guys no amount of money
to take a controversial case.
Their beliefs and their people, you know. So, but everybody's not cut from that cloth. Like
right, exactly, and that's okay.
But I'm saying we should.
We should be, yeah. We wouldn't be in this position. If we were, we wouldn't be doing this show right now.
If we were, all of us would be Jesus Christ.
Not really.
Well, no, because other groups, no, Pam, because other groups stick together and they're not Jesus Christ. I mean, we are the group that don't stick together. We are the group that, like I said earlier in my earlier commentary, you couldn't get another group of people. Well, you might, but it'd be a long stretch to find somebody else from another group to come in and go against their people. You know, so we don't see it that much in the United States of America. That's what I'm saying. We don't see Hispanics or Asian people or Jewish groups going against their own people. Look, there's no what's the black girl that's always on Fox News? What's her name?
Candace Owens.
Yeah, there's no Jewish Candace Owens. That's on Fox News going, Hitler was right. You know what I'm saying? We just don't see that. You're not going to see that. You're not going to ever see that. You know, they're never going to see an Asian person on Fox News saying F Asian hate. We deserve it. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see Tim Scott on national television.
And one of the videos I showed, one of the videos I showed, that guy that was saying, Officer Tatum, who's very big. He has over 1 million followers. And
I love that guy.
Yeah. That was saying that black people need to stop resisting and all that. You know
what I mean? That guy.
Oh, it's big money. It's big money in selling out. I mean, we all right now on this panel right now, we say this all the time. If we turn this into a black conservative show, woo, our numbers will skyrocket. We'll all be like looking in our mailbox every day for that check from YouTube, because our numbers will go to another level. If we start right now, Obama wasn't born in this country. He's a piece of shit. And just continue and beat up on everybody. And we be like all rich in by next year this time. So
like silver and diamond and silk.
It's money in being a black sellout. Ask Candace Owens.
Yeah, Mara Charity said, I don't think we know Flores like we think we do.
Yep, that's true too. That's another issue. Yep.
I'm not sure.
And that's what I'm saying. We haven't heard what the other side of this case is. Not saying that what happened didn't happen, but you know, she very well may have a different angle on this that may be feasible. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you got to give her the benefit of the doubt. It's just shocking. It was shocking to hear. And I'm willing to give her the benefit of the doubt too, Pam.
Would it have been so shocking, let's say, if Johnny Cochran was still alive and he took the case?
Any black
person, I would be.
Any black person that takes a case.
I'll be shocked if it was Ben Crump.
Oh, well, yeah. But,
Ben Crump, I'd be shocked, but I wouldn't be shocked if the first one you said. Well, it wouldn't shock me.
Well, Johnny Cochran?
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me at all.
No. It would shock me. You know, I mean, I think I read Johnny Cochran's book. Johnny Cochran was just Johnny Cochran was down for people, man, down for his people, you know, way before he became famous with OJ, you know. He became famous with OJ,
right?
But he was doing work in the community before he became famous with OJ. You know, he wasn't a slouch. He was putting his money where his mouth was way before the OJ murder trial. So, you know, but we didn't know he wasn't as famous as OJ made him, but he was out there doing work in the community and way before he took the OJ case. So I'd be surprised if Johnny Cochran was still alive and he went that route. Yes.
I mean, in my opinion, I mean, the NFL has been, it's not even like they're trying to hide it.
Nope.
You're telling me they have 70% players and they can only find only white quarterbacks, only white managers, only white coaches. What else do we need? Why do we always?
Because look, there's no black hockey coaches. There's no black hockey.
There's very few black hockey players.
Yeah, Kevin Weeks is one who plays, but and actually, I take that back. No, take that back. Oh, is that hockey? Wait, let me make sure before I tell you that lie.
No, there's one black. There's one black hockey player, and I think there's one NASCAR driver too, and there's a couple in the other driving league, but that's kind of like
started by.
We don't. That's not our sport though. We're
yes,
like
it is. Yes,
we dominate football. We dominate basketball, and basketball is a perfect example. Look at all the black coaches they have. Matter of fact, white people should be bitching they're not getting hired to be coaches in the NBA.
Yeah, but that took a long time, though. That took a long time for them to get
Gerard,
together.
Oh, yeah, no doubt it took a long time.
Kevin.
But that's one reason they keep us out, though, in my opinion, Pamela, because we do dominate, because we did take over the league. We just saw, I just watched the NBA All-Star game over the weekend. They did the top 75 players of all time. And all of them came out. The ones that are still alive came out, you know, to a round of applause. And everybody was there, you know, all the greats. And everybody, 75 players, I think there's probably maybe only 6 of them are white.
Well, I will tell you this. Paul Gerard was a black NHL coach. And there was also another gentleman, Jason Payne, I think his name was.
A black NHL coach?
Yes, there's been 2. And Payne was like 45 years old, something like so young. But yeah, so those are the 2. But also, when you say about the hockey, believe it or not, if I'm not mistaken, I have to look it up again. But it was the first players were actually black who actually started hockey. If you look it up, I forgot.
Started hockey.
Hockey. I'm trying to think. I think it was hockey. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look it up. First, I saw an article and that was shocking. Was that?
Yeah, somebody said that a black person invented hockey.
Yeah.
But Mara Therese, I hope I'm getting your name correct. She said, "Do you have any issues with Flores hiring an all-white firm, not team? The whole firm is white to represent him in a discrimination lawsuit. Flores,
question.
white legal team, NFL black legal team.
Good question.
Flores got an all-white legal team. NFL got a black legal team.
Good. So that'll work.
You know,
it works.
But I think most people's argument is, and we're going to move on from this topic. We're going to jump on the Ahmaud Arbery in a few minutes. You know, is that the fact that 70% players are black in the NFL, and we know the position of the quarterback and the coach and the managers. You need some kind of, you know, your mental faculties need to be firing on all pistons, and they don't seem to. It's like they're saying black people are not smart enough to hold those positions. So I'm thinking that's why people are so upset. That's why I'm upset, because you're telling me that we're not smart enough to hold those positions.
Mm-hmm. Well, also that's a stereotype.
I don't even think that's it.
That's not true.
I think it's a good old boys club.
Exactly.
I think it's the good old boys club. I think it's that club that we're not invited into, Carl. Just the same way black people weren't allowed to go into the golf to country clubs.
Still can't
get into
some over here by Bedford Golf or one of them places over here. You can't. They ain't got no black people at all.
There was I got to Google. There was a country club, an exclusive one in Los Angeles, I believe, and they didn't accept the membership of Sidney Poitier. Sidney Poitier. That was that made the news.
I don't know who wanted to
probably.
be
I think it was over 15 years ago, but they wouldn't accept his membership. And
see, I'm with you, Carl, on that one. Why would you want to be? Why would I go? Like someone told me they tried this golf course over here in Bedford, and they don't have no black people, and I don't think they have any Jewish people either. Which I'm surprised. I was like, nobody's saying nothing about this. Hello. But my thing is this: why, if you have that kind of dough, why would you want to roll up and be the first one in there, knowing they don't want you there? Why would you want to spend? Why would you spend your? I would open my own.
Because it's about breaking barriers.
You never
It's
see.
about breaking barriers.
You never see
You
white
see,
people
but
fighting.
now you see. Wait a minute. Do you want us to take a stand or not? I don't get it.
It's not the same thing, Pam. You cannot tell me that because I have a lot of money that I'm supposed to take a stand and be a self-sacrifice. That's why I didn't like private school, because well, there was another black girl, but she wasn't in the class. I had to be caught up to speed, so to speak. So I was the only black kid, because I was the only one I would see, because I was in these classes or whatever, and I wasn't with this other black girl that was there. Actually, one was mixed, so there was two. But I didn't want to be the guinea pig. Why should I be a guinea pig? You know,
but you didn't have a choice. They have the choice, and they're choosing to do that. It depends on what their intent is. If their intent is just to get in there to hobnob with a whole bunch of white folks,
that's exactly what the intent is. That's the intent.
Or it could be that they are interested in breaking that. That's how a lot of those clubs finally started to do that, because they eventually they brought in one. And then it made it easier for other people to come in, and then it became integrated.
And that's why we don't have nothing, because because we do that. I've got to go up in this country club and be the first one up in here. No,
that's
why
so condescending?
What? Well, I mean, all I can say
that's not always the case.
If more people did like other groups did, okay, other groups do this all the time. My Latino friends, they're not going to your store if you're not serving them and being friendly and whatever. They're not coming to your store. Unless they absolutely have to, they're not coming. So they're not going to come up into your golf club. They're going to wait and pull their money together and get their own damn pool club and say, we got our own.
So there's a Hispanic golf course?
All right, we got to move on from this.
I'm just saying, I'm so sick of us like sucking up to do all this stuff.
I understand what time. I mean, Dr. Claude Anderson, he said Europeans don't get up in the morning and, hey, let's go shop in the black neighborhood.
Yeah, they don't do it. They don't do it.
Black people do it all the time. We get up in the morning, and we go shop. We go to all these malls and just give our money away. Yeah, I mean, I mean, I think it's ingrained in us that what we have is not as good as what other people have. I mean,
my mother said
last week where the guy was shopping at Gucci and he was upset, and someone came to him, "Why are you in Gucci? Why you need Gucci's approval?"
Yeah,
and there's so many black designers out there. Seek them out. Look for them.
Yeah, and you'll probably have a more original design anyway, instead of something that someone put their name on it and it ain't even original. I can tell you that for a fact.
We want the approval of the European. We want that approval. We want them to like us. I mean, it's like, and it's sad, and I don't know when it's going to end. Hopefully, it ends soon. But I mean, we seem to think their stuff is better. I think one of the Malcolm X cartoon clips I showed last week, he said, black people move into a European neighborhood and brag about it. Yeah, I'm the only black one in here. The only black man on the block.
Yep.
And you're happy because they let you in. You don't see Europeans trying to get in. Like if there's a club, say a dance club, that white people open a dance club, black people trying to get into this dance club. Black people open the dance club. You don't see white people outside lined up trying to get in.
Unless they're Madonna. Oh, did I say that?
It's like I remember I was back in the 80s. I was
Kardashian.
I was at a dance club. You know how they have a club that they have black people have a night they call a white affair, which means everybody wears white. And some white people showed up. And they saw all these black people and they just turned around, and I heard one would say, I guess it's not our night. What I mean?
That's what they said.
Yeah. I don't think they were aware though that about the white affair thing, but they just didn't expect to see there was too many black people for them to handle. So they just turned around and left. They, you know what I mean? I didn't get the feeling that they saw the flyer saying it was a white affair, but everybody was dressed in white. You know.
Wait. I can't. I cannot.
You know. So yeah. So my final thought on Loretta Lynch is, and I keep saying this, and I'll say it again, is that every Black person that lives in America know what we've been through, know what we're going through. It's all there for us to see. What else do we need to see? And I know it's hard to refuse money, but I think we got to stay on code. If we're going to achieve anything, any kind of, you know what I mean, we have some success, but for us to get to, I mean, any major success, I think we're going to have to stay on code. And I don't see that we're going to stay on code anytime soon. So let's go on to Miss Ahmaud Arbery. The trial ended a couple of days ago, I think. Why would they retry it again? What did I?
It was federal. It was a federal hate crime trial.
Oh, it was a federal
hate.
They
tried in the state for the murder, but then they had the hate crime.
Okay, so these three lovely men from the master race.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Travis McMichael, guilty. Count 2, felony murder. We, the jury, find the defendant, Greg McMichael, guilty. Count 3, felony murder. We, the jury, find the defendant, William R. Bryan, guilty.
Man.
You could have just let him run, correct?
I could have, but I also wanted to make sure that everything was okay down the road and see what was happening. I wanted to ask him, at least ask him what was happening and see what he would say and go from there.
Straight line.
He wanted to see what was happening.
What was happening? And who left him in charge of what's happening?
Yeah. You know, I that's one of the things. Like, for some reason, like a lot of Europeans they seem to think they're in charge of us.
I don't know where that comes from. That's true.
They act like they're in charge of us. I mean, I used to work for a cable company, and we'd be on the street working, and I swear to God, they would literally come out. What's going on here? What's all these? What's going? Do you want to tell me, sir, what's going on here? And I will go, it has nothing to do with you.
Right.
And they just look at me like, well, and I live on this street. I said, I don't care. It has nothing to do with you.
Right.
Of course, they would call and say I was, this guy was rude to me. I came out, I asked a question, and I was, they try to put it off like they were so nice. But why do you care? What do you mean? What's going on here? Who are you? And why do you feel like you need to know everything? Or why you feel you need to question me? And they act like I need to answer.
I was saying Miss Johnson down the street is a diabetic and she needs insulin.
Yeah, and from watching those three guys that killed Ahmaud Arbery, I am always amazed at how they commit these horrific crimes and then act so innocent. You see them in see them in court, and they look so innocent, like like they just came from the ice cream store or something, like and so I think they got what did they get, like 20 to life, I think, if I remember correctly, or they got life in prison plus 20 is what they got.
Good. So I hope there's no chance of parole.
So there's no chance of parole. And then we had another
when
cop,
they finishes,
where another father and son were shooting at the brother that was driving the FedEx truck. So Pam, I'm gonna go to you with this one first. Why can't they leave us alone?
They love us.
I
He's
can't.
like their favorite little pet.
Just
That
leave
they
us
want to keep
alone.
in chains.
You know.
No, no. I think what I think you kind of hit the nail on the head when they said they really think that they are in charge of us and our actions and uh how we they are our supervisors. They have to keep us in line. They have to know what we're doing. God forbid you have a frown on your face because they always like to see a smile. It makes them very nervous when they see us, see us with a straight face or God forbid a frown.
You're up to something.
It makes them very nervous. They don't like, they would. It's kind of like, when they used to say children should be seen and not heard, or yes, seen and not heard, or heard. Yeah. They would really prefer it if we kind of stayed in the periphery. And when we actually come into their circles, which is more and more, it makes them very nervous because they don't know. We have always had to incorporate ourselves into their world. So we've had to learn about them and their little nuances. They never really had to learn about ours. And now that they have to,
yeah,
they don't feel too cool with it.
Like I think Kevin and I was talking about this last week. Like some white people go out of their way to mind our business. I mean, they literally go out of their way to mind our business. Like, I mean, so they saw this guy jogging. Why can't you just look out your window, see a guy jogging, and just just go back to whatever you're doing?
Yeah, I think that I hate stereotyping, but white folks are very curious. They're curious about a lot. That's why I think they're always trying to find that new adventure. And they always want to know what's going on. I live in a predominantly white neighborhood, and I won't see all of them because thankfully my neighbors kind of stick to themselves. But there is a mayor of our street who has helped me on numerous times. But they like to know what's going on. Like you're talking about the cable, I've had situations where I've had someone come to fix something, and the little old lady that used to live across the street before she passed, she would, "Hey Pam, how are you? Is everything okay?" "Yeah, everything's fine. Everything's fine, Emily." She says, "Okay, yeah, I just noticed that's not an ambulance out there, is it?" "No, it's not. It's a repair truck." "Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure, you know." And I honestly, well, for her, I think it was just, her trying to make sure everything was okay. But unfortunately, it goes beyond that when it deals with people like those three killers, where their adrenaline starts to pump. I don't know if it's a male thing because, we do have the Karens of the world. But they think of us as those little naughty children that they have to keep in check.
Is it curiosity, or is it they just don't trust us? I mean, because we get followed around the store. I mean, which is an old thing that we
No,
do
in general, yeah. In general, I think they have learned to be suspicious of our movements.
I mean, I saw a video recently where this brother was walking around his house. He was doing yard work, and a cop drove by, saw him in his backyard, and placed him on
That
arrest.
happens.
And placed him on
Look at
arrest.
the guy who got killed in his garage because he was playing music.
Yeah,
it happens. It happens every day.
So
we have to be kept in check.
Yeah. So I don't know who left these three white men in charge of.
Well, the problem is those are three white guys that are now off the streets of America. But realistically, there's thousands
3 million
more
others.
of
George
them. I
Zimmerman.
would go ahead and say millions, which is scary.
Tons.
3 million more.
But millions more of people with that same mentality.
George Zimmerman.
You see that the text message that came out in court. These guys were calling black people monkeys and animals and you know,
They were hunting. They were
N-word and everything you can think of, and threatening to shoot niggers. That's what one of his text messages said. And this is way before the Arbery killing. One guy was upset because his daughter is dating a black guy. He said, my daughter has a nigger. He said that in a text message to one of his friends. So these guys, you know, and that's what it's all about, though, is the fear of their daughters, man, dating a black guy. So much racism of guys stem from that, you know, of just their fear that their daughters are going to grow up and date black guys.
From the time we came over, they dragged us over here. That's what there's been a fear of the assault on their pure white queens.
But can I say
that's what's been driven?
It's so weird, though. They raped black women.
There you go.
Yeah,
I was going to say
decades, and you know, black women been raped and murdered and raped and murdered and raped and murdered and murdered and raped. You know, at the hands. Yep. So I don't know. I don't understand.
Well, we should be scared. Like Carl used to say, every time we walk out our door, she'd be like,
you talk about the sexual assault of us, but also the experimentation, how they did hysterectomy and all different types of hysterectomies and gynecological stuff as a party favor without anesthesia. I mean, you know, there's just vile things that have been done to us, and I think their greatest fear is that we'll turn back and do the same thing to them.
That goes to your point, Pam, made about the lawyer earlier, having to represent these evil men and try to get them off, even though like it came out in court now, all this racist stuff they were saying, like, but these prosecutors probably knew that already, you know, and still went to bat to try to save these guys' ass and get them off, you know, which is really weird.
Oh, you mean the original prosecutor that got arrested or something herself?
Yeah, well, yeah, she's in trouble now because now Ben Crump is coming after her. They're going after her now. The family wants to go after her because she tried to sabotage this thing from day one. She tried to throw this all away, you know, and just told those guys, you know, waiting for that cell phone footage. These guys would be in jail right now. They'd be still on the streets. And the cell phone footage, from what I hear now, was a souvenir.
Of course.
You know, like remember serial killers, like in the movies, serial killers would
they always take something.
Victims. This guy recorded this thing so he can keep it as a. How sick are you? He wanted to keep this as a souvenir of them killing this young man, so he can have it.
He probably wanted to share it with his friends.
That was his downfall.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm telling you, is a modern day. I call it modern day lynchings. Same as Emmett Till. Same thing, where they would just want to go and do something and prove to somebody else. But my thing is this: barring these three, who raises their kids to go around thinking that it's okay to literally point blank just kill somebody just based on the color of their skin? That says a lot, not only about their parents, because this is a father and son duel, two of them, right? But I also would not be surprised. You said one of the daughters is dating a black guy. I would not be surprised also if he was not pedophilic. I'm just saying, he looks a little weird. They all look weird to me, and it doesn't shock me that they're recording the murder because they look a little bit 735. If you ask me, if you know what I mean. But the most important question I have is, who is raising their children to like go and hunt people? Because that's kind of what they're doing, is hunting. It's like, you know what? This is a perfect opportunity.
It's kind of like deliverance.
Yeah, that's the word. It's very deliverance, and that is more concerning to me than anything else because it's a culture now.
It's handed down.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Okay, these guys were married, right? So you think their wives didn't have the same feelings? You think that their cousins don't have the same feelings?
Yeah, they do.
If they have kids, their kids are now. If they have teenage kids, they raise them that way. Their parents probably raised them that way, and then, you know, this is just generational hatred being passed down and passed down and passed down.
And like many things
worth
that are passed down from generation to generation, there is no rhyme or reason why. They're not taught reason. Sometimes they're not even taught the reasons why. They're just
not
do
very
it because
bright
it is, because it's the way we are.
Mara
Because, you know,
Teresa
we're
said
superior.
she called it deputized by whiteness.
There it is. Boom. And Trump did it. Remember when he said in the rally, yeah, we got to, you know, if we just, what was the exact quote? If we just, during one of his rallies, he was saying, remember, that's the one where he said, if I can just take a gun in the middle of the crowd right now and shoot someone and I get off with it. And then he also said at some point in that speech, you have to look it up. You guys are fact
He was
checkers.
trying to deputize all of them to go out there and push people out and all that kind of stuff. He said he would pay the lawyer fees.
Yeah, he said, don't let them do that. I forgot the exact quote. You have to look it up to get the exact quote because I don't want anybody to miss saying I said the wrong thing. But it's a fact that he said it, not me. That he was kind of like saying, you know, you guys should go out there and get those people. And, you know, it's very inference talking. So it's not go and get that guy with the black hat, but you know what he's talking about. And since that day, it appears to me that everybody's coming out of the woodwork from deliverance. I'm just saying. That's just my thought. So I just want to know who's raising these kids, and more importantly, how many more did they get away with murdering?
You know who's raising them? If you think about it, the people in our age group, that means they were born in the 60s, maybe some in the 50s. What was happening around that time?
Yeah.
Right? They were seeing their fathers and mothers spit on Black people and do all kinds of atrocious things. And it's imprinted in the brain, right?
Do we see an end to this? I mean,
oh yeah, there's an end because
I think it's going to wash it out.
Ain't tolerating it, so there's going to be an end.
I'm talking about an end to all this police. You know, I mean, a lot of people, like the guy that was on that Brandon Tatum, he doesn't believe that white officers are shooting Black men just because they're Black.
He's delusional, like Candace Owens. They're delusional. Some people are delusional, and you just accept them as they are and just keep them moving because
I mean, these three men that hunted down Arbery and then the father and son. I mean, there's a million more of these people who want to eliminate Black people. I mean, we just got to learn how to maneuver.
Well, good luck, because we're not sitting down easy. So a lot of us are locking and loading.
But you know what I find interesting? Like when these same white people leave America and go to another country, they don't carry that same attitude with them.
Oh, they carry it with them. They just put it in check.
Right.
But so they don't
still
carry
there.
It. But I mean, yeah, but they don't carry. They don't carry that.
They don't show it.
Right.
Well, another thing is
because it's like a trip to the zoo.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people that carry this mentality also. If you dig a little bit to their grandparents and great grandparents, a lot of them were immigrants who came over here and may not have been doing good in their place that they came from. And so they don't want to give up this great thing. This is great for them. This is spectacular for them. This has been great generations of, you know, they actually have wealth. They have this now. They have that now, you know, whatever that's called. They're not in the 1%, but you know, for them, they have a lot more than they would have if they would have had back in their respective countries, right? So their fight is, I think, is to keep their white privilege. That's what I think it is. That's what I think the fight is. It's really not like if it how do I say it is about color, but it could be eliminated as long as we say you can still keep your privilege. You know what I'm saying? But all the stuff that's happening, including, you know, the history teaching, don't want to change the history. Oh, let's keep it the way it is. All that stuff is a pushback from like, well, what does this mean for me? Because that means I'm going to be at the even level. I don't want to be even with you. Are you kidding me? Because my grandparents told me that I was better than you. So now if we're telling them what we're saying, what does that, I was telling someone today, what does that mean for them? That's a hard thing to give up. I say, Carl, you got to give me your hat. Give me your glasses, Carl. Give me your car. You got a nice car. Give me your car. Give me your house. Give it up. Just give it up. What are you going to say? I beg your pardon. I don't think so. It's hard to give up your privilege. So I have to sometimes not empathize, but give me another word, not empathize, but think about. I have to think about.
You can understand without being right. agreeing with it.
You know what I'm saying? I have to think about those things when I think like, no, Christopher Columbus did not discover America. He actually came here drunk and stumbled on it. That's the truth. It was already here. You can't discover something that's here, right? But somebody else who was told all their life, Christopher Columbus was your ancestor, and he came in here, gosh, Molly, he saved the world. You know, it's a different story, right? So I have to always stop.
I think a lot of them believe in that 13%. We have 13% of the population of McCree, and we commit 50% of the crime. I think a lot of white people believe that's true.
They don't. I don't think they believe. I don't think they believe. I think they know. They know, and just like I can't explain it, but they know. I think most people know that it is not true that we're dummies. They know that, but it's just easier to say that. It's easier, and it's what I've been taught to say. So I'm going to say it to the very end, and I'm never going to let you see anything different. I know they know how brilliant we are. They know this. Who does not know this? Like, really, come on. But they're not going to tell you that, and never. So I think it's all a farce when people say they don't know. They know. They know that we're not all criminals. They know that. Because how the hell did they get the
easiest way?
If we're all criminals, how the hell did we get past slavery without slaughtering everybody? I'm just saying, if we were violent group of people, if we were mean people, how did we make it past slavery without some dead babies and some dead people? I'm just saying. If we were
how do we go through every single day without whooping some European?
And that's where guilt pops in, where people always want to know what's going on in the neighborhood. You know why they want to know? Because they're waiting for any day now for us to wake up and say, what the hell's been going on? We got to get our revenge, but it's never going to happen because that's not how we are.
Yeah.
But they're always thinking in their little heads, some people, that's how it's going. That's where all this nonsense comes from. And unfortunately, Black Communists, we have to sit and talk about this stuff because we got people like Zimmerman and these guys over here doing stuff to us that cannot be done. And we got to speak about it. So.
Yeah, Marcherisi said they absolutely do carry it. I guess she's referring to when I was saying that how come white people don't carry that same attitude when they travel? She said, I see a lot of it, of white Americans in their ignorance. She said, I travel and I see a lot of white Americans and their ignorance.
Oh, very ignorant. Very. Yeah. Especially when I go abroad, I'd be like, I've been putting on an accent. I am not from here. I don't know what you're talking about. Anything. I'm like, no,
right. We're going to jump now to another from the master race, Kim Potter. Is it Potter or I keep calling her Porter?
Potter. P-O-T-T-E-R.
Potter. Harry Potter.
Miss Taser, and pulls a gun and shoots Dante Wright. What's that, Kev?
No, I'm Taser, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Taser. And she has no idea she has a gun in her hand, so she says. And she's been a police officer for how long? Like more than 10 years, right? If I remember that correctly.
Actually, longer than Dante Wright was alive. So he was 20.
Right.
So, yeah, she's been a cop longer than he's been alive, and he was 20 when he was killed, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She had a great track record.
You know, and I'm sick of how they kill us and then try to show remorse, try to pretend like they're crying. You know, let me ask you guys, and anyone watching, when police officers, when these white police officers kill black people, you think they go home and they lose any sleep?
Nope.
Do you think they are crying so hard they got to be consoled by their wives or their kids because they're crying and they're moping around? Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I think there's a little bit of celebration.
I think there is some remorse. I think there must be some remorse as human beings. I don't think that it may not last long. I think they find ways to justify why they did the things that they did. And their fellow officers also do that. Excuse me?
Does that look like remorse?
I didn't say all of them did. I said I'm sure that sometimes when they initially go home, when you take if you kill an animal by accident as you're driving down the street, there's a certain amount of, instinctively you kind of cringe.
Look who we're talking
I think they get over it, and because they find a way to justify their actions and move on. And their officers help them.
But we're talking about people who can watch people swing from a tree by the neck. You think those people had remorse? I mean, you know.
And that's why I'm not
No.
sure, because
But
picnics.
that's that whole mob mentality too.
Can I say something? The swinging from the tree thing, the lynching that went on, that was happening in the 50s and the 60s. That wasn't a long time ago.
Nope.
Like, so, I mean,
And
it
there've
really
been a
wasn't a
few
long time ago.
No, and people have been
a
hung
few in
for the
this
last
decade.
years. Are you kidding?
So it wasn't that long ago. I mean, 1958 wasn't that long ago. Once, you know, so my point is, where did all these people go? Did they just disappear?
Nope.
like
And they got
all these mobs that dressed up and went out to these picnics to see black bodies burn or see black bodies hung or decapitated.
Those are the children who are adults today.
Yes,
that's what I was saying
So
before, right? Yeah.
Where they didn't disappear. That's my point.
No.
Good point.
Some of those kids,
They were desensitized.
Some of those kids, Pam, are now police officers.
Yep, a lot of them kids.
Some of those kids are now judges that wear robes and work in the courtrooms. Some of those kids are firemen.
Our
Some
neighbors.
Of those kids, they're everywhere. They're your neighbors.
Yes.
You know, they're grocery store clerks. I mean, so my point is, they're still here. So that mentality does not disappear from the planet just because Dr. King was assassinated and we'd have moved on. No, it's still here.
Yep.
You know.
Very true.
Anybody could have ran into those three guys that killed Ahmaud Arbery. It just happened to be Ahmaud Arbery that day. It could have been anybody, African American or black person, just in their presence. And we don't know if that was the first time they killed either.
Oh, I think they were kind of. They looked like they were kind of pro to me.
Those guys, yeah,
they've been doing this for a while.
First time they hunt somebody down and killed them, we would never know.
I'd like to go back to the morgue and say, what was the circumstances?
You know, I watch a lot of crime movies and things like that, and crime stories, real life stuff, Dateline NBC, all this stuff. A lot of times, a lot of serial killers used to go out, rape and murder women, and then they go home to their wife and kids.
The family, absolutely.
Like they live two lives. You know, like you go out, you rape and kill a woman, strangle a woman to death, then come home to your kids.
That's crazy. And go play with them.
Kids and eat dinner with your wife, and go upstairs and make love to your wife. 6 hours ago, you were strangling some woman to death. You know, a prostitute you picked up in a car. So I mean, it's a sickness.
Yep.
Unfortunately, that's still here, still amongst us. And basically, everybody's sitting ducks because you just never know when you're gonna run into these type of people that are out there. You know,
so you gotta be ready and prepared.
And well, you know, I travel a lot, as you know, you guys know that, and as a comedian. And when I'm on the road, sometimes I won't stop at night. You know, like I won't stop at a gas station at night. I'll fill my gas. If I'm traveling at night, I fill my gas tank up to a point where I ain't got to stop because I'm driving through the southern states. You know, I'm not stopping at a gas station in South Carolina at 2 a.m. to get gas. It ain't happening. You know? So I mean, that's the way we have to exist, though.
That's how we have to operate
in 2022. Unfortunately, you know.
Do you have a green book?
Huh?
Do you have a green book? You know, back in the 50s and stuff, they used to have a green book, a traveler's guide for Black people.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
The South.
Yep.
So Norma,
it's safe to go.
Grandma is saying there's a tree still in my hometown, Georgia.
Yep.
That people are linked from that never took it down.
Yep.
In Savannah, there's a couple too.
Yeah, my mom's that's from Savannah. Yeah, that's
wow.
I was telling Carl. Today. I think it was today. Carl, we talked. There's a lynching museum in Alabama.
In Tennessee?
In Alabama. It's in Alabama.
No, it's in Alabama.
You heard about it, Pam?
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, lynch museum. And when a talk show host that I listened to went there last week, he's down in Georgia, and he drove down with some friends to the museum. He said it was, I mean, it's amazing. He's glad he went, but it was very heavy, you know. But he's glad he went. He don't regret going. He learned so much, you know, about lynching and how everything went down. And
About the picnics and stuff.
Yeah, just all they have a wall of jars where a lot of times Black people, where their loved ones were lynched, they took the dirt and put in jars. So they got this whole wall of jars now, all this dirt from where all these people were lynched. It's crazy.
Marcherise, Ruby Bridges has an Instagram page. Who's Ruby Bridges? I don't know.
She was the little girl, the busing. They had to protect her. The marshals had to protect her.
Oh yeah. I have a picture
And when
of her.
you were asking about where those people are, all those young people who screamed and shouted at those Black kids as they tried to get their education, they too are still alive.
Yep.
And some of them, because I think Oprah had a show about that, and I think it was only one woman actually stood up and apologized. You know, she basically said, "Look, this is how we were raised. This is what they, you know, we thought we were doing the right thing at the time, but you know, in as years went by, she finally realized that, you know, what her parents had taught her was very much far from the truth."
Yep.
But there's still a lot of people who believed what their parents told them and their grandparents told them and continue.
I know someone alive now. He's 89. Who saw the town tried to make his whole family watch a lynching when he was like 7 years old, and he was so horrified. He skipped out of that town so quick. He didn't know what hit him. Never came back. But I'm just saying he's alive, and he's told me a story about that, and I was like, what? Oh my
The thing
God.
about it is whatever you has been instilled in you as a child, as an adult, you have that choice to continue to perpetuate it or to annihilate it from your being.
Absolutely.
And they make a choice to continue on in those hateful ways.
Patricia Felix, what's up, Patricia? You've been missing in action. Kevin got you on lockdown.
MIA.
She said, "Where there is hatred, murder is easy." That is true. Because I'll tell you what, there's nothing better than a dead snake for me. I see a snake.
Damn.
I'm the same way.
Dude,
when Pam was saying earlier, you feel bad if you run over an animal. I would never feel bad about running over a snake.
No.
Well, no, not a snake, but I'm talking like a dog, you know.
Yeah, well, okay. But a snake, I have no
I love snakes.
What? I have no love for snakes.
I have no love for snakes.
Boa constrictor. I had one around my neck. I got a picture. I'll show you one day.
Yeah.
I don't want to
No
see
need.
that.
Keep it to yourself.
Big.
Not. TW, what's up, brother? From YouTube, he said, "When I first moved to my current location, my white neighbor for the first week would bring me my mail from the mailbox. I thought it was strange. Now I know.
Nosy.
Now I know they wanted to see what type of mail I got."
Yeah.
No. I would have been like, that's a federal offense, boo. No, thank you.
They were probably shaking it to see if there's any crack in there.
Ooh, I would have been. Ooh, they would have got the riot act.
Why would you bring somebody's mail unless they ask you to?
I would have been really. I would have felt violated if someone came and brought me my mail. I'd be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Well,
it's not even important because I don't really get.
That's
mail,
like touching my underwear.
Yeah, it's
like they're curious. The Europeans are very curious. So Kim Potter, she got 2 years, and the judge was crying, sobbing for her.
Yes, you could tell that was rigged. The whole thing was rigged. You could tell, my opinion. In my
That's
opinion,
the first time I've ever seen a judge.
Thank you.
Crying for a murder.
No, recently,
murder.
recently there was a situation recently with that same boo-hooing going on.
Oh well. I mean,
that was
the judge. I'm talking about with the judge.
That was the judge who, that was the girl who shot the
guy in the apartment, right?
Bothman John was eating ice cream in his apartment, and she kicked in and shot him. While he was eating ice cream, watching football. Yeah, that judge also was emotional for her. You know,
she said, "I think that she's already paid enough for what she's done, and she'll have to live with the rest of her life." But he ain't got no life. I'm confused. What are we here for? I'm sorry. Are we here for her?
It's
like,
funny that they don't show that same compassion for other, other defendants who just happen
because
to be in
we're
the wrong place at the
undervalued.
wrong time doing the wrong thing.
which circles back to my point in the beginning as far as Loretta Lynch and the NFL, seeing all of this and seeing how everybody seems to be against us, right? We just proved it. Everybody's against us. And now Loretta Lynch can't say no to the NFL. No, I don't like the way you treat black men. Or I don't like the way you treat black people. You know what I mean? I don't need your money. You know what I mean? But like I said, not everyone is Muhammad Ali. Not everyone's Malcolm X. Some people, don't have that.
They were a rare breed. We'll never find them type of people again.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody willing to die for the cause or even get a fingernail broken for the cause. It's not happening. I've seen people sell out lately that really shocked me. That I'm not gonna say no names, but that just really shocked me. As though, this and that and this and that when George Floyd happened, and now well, you should do such and such. I was like, what did they just say? So there is no longer any kind of people like a Dr. King, like a Malcolm X, or even
lost
like
hope.
Mandela, who sat in jail for 27 years. There's nobody like that. Ain't nobody doing those 27. They ain't doing it. They're not
I lost
doing
hope when we couldn't stop watching football for 16 weeks.
Yeah. Thank you.
All Kaepernick needed was 16 weeks of your life to support, to show the NFL how much they need, our blood, sweat, and tears. And people couldn't stop watching football.
Yeah.
Yeah, the days of sacrifice are few and far between, if ever.
Yeah. And it's sad because it says a lot about, we don't have the staying power that our parents, like my mom, she was old enough to be my grandmother, my mom, foster mom, she told me about all the sit-ins and stuff that they did. And the big key was that people were going for the long game, not the short game. So if the bus says that you got to sit in the back and we don't want to sit in the back, me, you, and Kevin and Carl say, okay, we're going to have to walk to work for that till the day we get sit on the bus. And we're all ready for it. Pam, I'll pick you up at 2. Carl, I'll get you at 3. You know what I'm saying? Or we'll circle back.
Or you just start walking.
Or we're all walking together so we can be safe. That's how they did. They had the long-term plan. We have a short-term plan. We got ADHD, all of us now. It's like, I want gratification now.
Well, let's take Dr. King, for example. He was really a poor man. He had financial help from some celebrities, Sidney Poitier and Sammy Davis Jr., people like that. And Aretha Franklin put money up, for him. Halle Belafonte put money up to take care of his family, but he was really a poor man in a sense. So let's say he was worth millions of dollars and lived in a big giant mansion. Would he sacrifice all of that at that point? Would he come out and go? I mean, if Dr. King was worth $60 million and lived like a Hollywood celebrity, would he take the chances that he took? I mean, I'm just going back saying, what I'm trying to say is people back in those days didn't have anything either,
They didn't have far to fall back.
Yeah, they have.
Also, you don't have something to keep
John Lewis didn't have nothing when he was a young man.
Right. To keep up with.
Jesse Jackson wasn't rich. People pick on Jesse Jackson now because, he's rich, he got money. And Jesse Jackson was getting dogs sicked on him and bottles thrown at him and billy clubs from police officers and getting locked up. With Dr. King, he wasn't making no money for that.
Well, that's when he was his authentic.
He's getting his ass whipped every day with Dr. King and John Lewis down south. Them guys, they had no money. They were going to jail, getting beat and everything, getting threatened, looking over their shoulders. None of them guys had money, If Dr. King would have lived a long life, he would have got money. I'm sure he'd wrote some books and stuff like that. And
speaking engagements.
Yeah, I mean, he would have financially be okay if he'd have lived a long life, which fortunately he didn't get to live, past 39. But
oh wow.
Same with Malcolm X. He was a poor man too, but if Malcolm would have lived in a longevity, I'm sure he would have ended up probably being a wealthy person, because people would have paid Malcolm lots of money to come to him talk, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah. So those guys didn't live long enough to be rich like Jesse Jackson's rich right now, but Jesse Jackson lived a long life,
That's a good point, Kevin, because you're right. And it appears to me that once the money comes, is when the shift is about to go down. And you're right. We didn't have a chance to see if they, even though I believe that if they wanted to make more money back then, there was ways that they could have, but that shows their integrity, that it was never about the money, because they could have been made lots of money back then. They could have hustled that game so hard, especially,
Well, the celebrities took chances too, Tanya. You mean like, Bill Russell,
yes,
and Muhammad Ali, and yes, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who was Lou Alcindor back then. Jim Brown. Those guys took a stand. They didn't care. They took a stand.
Yeah,
those four guys I just mentioned took a stand. So they didn't care. Ali didn't care. Jim Brown didn't give a rat's ass.
Yeah,
Lou
no,
Alcindor didn't care. Those guys were just different back then.
I think back then too was because we were more cohesive, because we were all going through the same thing. But now you got some of us making it. You know what I mean? So it seems like they dangle. Look at these few celebrities that are making money. You can be like them too. Right. You know what I mean? So we don't want to rock the boat, because we want to,
LeBron James rocks the boat. I mean, he rocks the boat. I mean, because he knows he's untouchable. He knows that he's at that place where his power and his wealth is untouchable. I mean, he doesn't worry about where his next meal gonna come from. He's out there putting his money where his mouth is to the best he can. He's no Muhammad Ali, but he's still taking those stands. He's doing his thing.
Yeah,
I think people like that, they have been smart enough to position their capital where it's secure enough.
Yes.
Not everybody knows how to do that, and so that they can stand in a place of power and strength.
But it all comes back to money, though. No matter how we talk, it all comes down to don't mess with my money. That's all it all comes back to.
That's what we're saying, but we don't know if LeBron is thinking that way. We don't know.
Steve Harvey says it's a money game.
That's Steve, but that's Steve.
Well, Steve,
and a lot of other people, but there are also a lot of people who may not have that position.
So he's worried about taking care of his family.
Well, here's the thing with Steve, what he was talking about, and that's what I was saying, Kevin. That was a really good point. When he's saying the money game, Steve, think about it. When you have all those assets to keep up with, you got $1 million house now. You're not living in a $25,000 house you bought. You're living in a $4 million house. You got the Lamborghini. You got the engagements to go to. You got to wear the clothes. You got to get your hair and the nails done did. Now you're up in the game, so you got to now feed the beast. You can't just be like, oh yeah, I'll come speak and help you guys out. You got to take the $1 million. You ain't gonna be able to.
The others, in addition to what you're saying, is too, you have to remember that there is a whole host of people who are depending on them also for their livelihood, right? Their support, their staff and things like that too. So if they crumble, all those people crumble with them as well.
Sure.
Yeah, TW from
hopefully they consider.
From YouTube said, no black person is untouchable in the global system of white supremacy. Yep. Don't be fooled. Money is a protection to a point until it's not. Money is a protection to a point until it's not. True.
Tell Bill that.
Yeah.
Tell Bill Cosby that.
You know what though? I disagree. I got to push back on that because Bill got taken down, but Bill Cosby's still worth $700-800 million right now.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying you took away his money.
$500 million, something
really?
ridiculous
Still?
like that. He still has.
Oh yeah.
He went to jail for 3 years or whatever. He still has $500 million in his bank account.
Wow.
But I'm not saying they take. But that's the point though, that it's not the money. You can still have your money, but your
assassinated
power,
his character or his stature.
Right, your influence, your power. They can strip you down no matter how much money you have. So you can keep the money.
Well, they do that to white people too. I mean, they took out JFK, right?
Yeah, sure.
Exactly. So anybody can be got. They took out King. They took out JFK. They took out Bobby Kennedy. I mean, anybody can be taken out eventually, But I see what you're saying, Pam. But but I don't. As far as affecting LeBron James' livelihood, they can't do that because he's still gonna be a basketball player as long as wants to be a basketball player. you can't make up dirt if there's no dirt to make up.
Right.
You know, if that was the case, Barack Obama had to be the cleanest guy ever.
That's right. He did.
I mean, this guy never cheated on Michelle, because if he did, we would have known about it.
We would have known.
You know what I mean? There would have been, they would look into even the Clintons when he's running.
Yeah, the whole vetting
They have
process.
more people digging up stuff on this dude. Find me anything on this dude so we could take him down. They couldn't find shit. They couldn't find.
Tried to find one thing, but I'll tell you about it behind the scenes after. That's it. But I didn't hear.
They ain't find them to take him down because he became president for 8 years.
I'll tell you why later. We'll talk about it later.
All right. Well, they didn't take him down though.
Luckily, it didn't work. Whatever they were doing. But
well, yeah, nothing worked. I mean, I understand what they tried to do, but it was all.
If you ain't alive, you can't testify.
Even the stuff with Trump's dumbass with the wasn't born in this country crap and paying somebody $5 million to go investigate over in Hawaii and find him records. It was a waste of money. You could take that $5 million and gave the charity, you dumb bastard. You know,
but was it though? But really, was it? But really, was it a waste of money? Because he got those people believing it to this day.
Exactly.
Right? It was all the master plan.
Reasonable doubt. That's all you need. Just a little doubt.
People are still talking about it to this day.
Yep.
And that's part of the reason
And
why
we'll
he
insist
eats
on
his
it.
way on in.
Yeah, they'll be like, he wasn't even born here. He's not an American citizen. I was like, he can't be a president if he's an American citizen, dummy. So
all right, we're gonna wrap it up, folks. Thanks to everyone for watching our show. Thank you so much. I hope you guys learned something tonight. I know I learned a lot. I learned that Loretta Lynch needs to stay on code. That's my takeaway. Those three, I mean, for some reason, white people seem to think that they're in charge of us still. For some reason, some of the European community can't shake that feeling like they need to know where we are at all times and what we're doing at all times. And Kim Porter, when a police officer shoots a black person and they go home, I think there's a little bit of celebration. I think they bust out the cake and they have some candles and they shoot out the candles. I have never seen I have not seen any police officers crying on TV. Have any of you guys like showing any kind of remorse? I mean,
not even the good apples.
Not even with the 12-year-old kid that they shot. But when the kid had the toy gun in the park. Not even with that, I saw him.
Tamir Rice, yeah, Tamir Rice.
And that would have been the one time where you'd be like, a 12-year-old, like really? Nope. Well,
they wrap them in a cocoon when that first happens, though. They usually don't allow them to do or see anyone in those first 48 hours or so. I mean, they just whisk them away and get their stories right first.
The crying only seems to come at the jury when they're on trial.
When
the cameras are rolling.
Porter wasn't. Darren Sure wasn't crying when she took that mug shot. She was cheesing up back like she was doing a model photo shoot. I was like.
So again, I'm gonna say, what else do we need to see, folks? I don't know what else we need to see. We're not saying. I know we talk a lot, and I say this show after show. I know we talk a lot about white people and Europeans, but when a large percentage of a certain group act in a certain way, it's safe to say, you know what I mean, this group or that group. You know what I mean? If you go to the Caribbean and you would see a certain group of people from the Caribbean doing one thing, you know, people come back and go, you know, you Caribbean people this and you Caribbean people. And even though I don't do it, and people assume that I smoke pot, you know, and I've never smoked pot a day in my life, you know, but it's hard for people to believe. It's very hard. I swear to God, I almost got into a fisticuffs fight with a white dude because he was swearing to me I'm lying because that's saying I never smoked pot simply because I'm from the Caribbean. He's like, come on, you smoke. Come on, you're lying. Why you need to lie? I'm like, dude, I just never did. You know what I mean? And Pam can tell you how many people in Barbados smokes pot. Pam, like, have you been hanging out?
I plead the fifth.
Yeah. Okay. Take that back.
Honestly, I can say that I do not know of anyone in Barbados of my
But I mean, it's
circle
not like white, like people
who
assume
have
because it's the Caribbean, like everybody, like they wake up in
right,
the morning and mom,
right,
dad,
right. We don't have ganja trees out in the
right.
backyard, just or is it trees, plants?
We're not packing splits in the lunch boxes for our kids and stuff.
Okay.
She said I should smoke. Mara Teresi said I should smoke. I should probably start. I can start now. Right?
Start now, man.
Get some edibles first.
I never smoke and I never drink. I should start doing all of them. I should start doing all of the above.
All of the above.
Right now. Kevin, any parting words? Anything you want to say before we depart?
Yes, Dre once said, still ain't loving the police. No, just yeah, man, my parting words is we got 3 bad dudes off the streets, but there's millions more, like I said, out there, and none of us are safe in America. It's a scary place right now. It just seemed like, Carl, real quickly, as we end the show, it just seems like since, I'm gonna go back to the Trayvon Martin, which was 2014, right? I believe 2014, Trayvon Martin, yeah. And then Mike Brown, and it's just been like a nonstop thing, man. Since then, since Trayvon, and then Mike Brown, and the cat in Baltimore, Ferguson. It's just been nonstop.
About 1,000 altogether.
It's just been a nonstop beat up on Black people, man, and we got to come together because we got to figure out a way for this to stop. It's just getting bad. Pam, you live in Jersey. Pam, yeah, I was gonna say Jersey. Yep. As I was telling Carl, when I tell you, Carl, they paid out $57 million. $57 million.
$57 million
in police misconduct cases settled out of court.
State troopers.
Yeah, just cases. You can Google it. Cases settled out of court from police misconduct against Black and Hispanic people. Yeah, Google that.
That's all they got caught.
Yeah, so it's police reform is obviously not going to work. Like Carl always says, how can you teach somebody just not to be racist and teach somebody to be nice to a human being? So it was a good show, guys. It's a heavy show once again, but we have to bring these things to the table. We got to figure out a way to navigate through this and keep our sanity. But it's crazy out here. So everybody stay safe. We always say, keep Ben Crump out your living room.
Tanya, any parting words? Anything on Loretta Lynch?
Yeah, I want to tell the parents who got boys out there, send your kids to college to become judges and not football players, is what I'm saying. And parents, if you have parents in the past, that grandparents, whoever, that were racist, that doesn't mean you have to be. So I'm pleading with you to have some compassion in your heart. We are human beings, okay? We are just like you. We bleed just like you. And have compassion for other people. You do not have the right to harm another human being. Period. # God.
Oh, yeah. And jury duty. Do your jury duty.
You going?
Yeah, I'm filling it out. I'm going to fill it out.
All right.
Go sit in the courtroom. Yeah, he did it.
You brought a smile to Pam's face. Look at that smile when you said you were going. Look at Pam.
We got to. Just the same way we need judges and stuff, we need juries, because juries are the ones who put our children to say guilty.
Absolutely.
Or not guilty.
It's fun. I liked it. I'm not a person that likes jury duty. Okay. All right.
Any parting words, Pam, on Loretta Lynch, Ahmaud Arbery, or Kim Potter? Anything you want to add or take away?
Kim Potter, I hope they put her in Gen Pop. No, they're not going to, but
Pam, if Kevin we're coming to your house next summer, we probably get pulled over, is what you're saying? Because you said you live in a mostly
basically.
Yeah, maybe.
Next summer, we're getting invited to the cookout this summer.
This summer. This summer coming up. That's right.
Cookout at Pam's house.
That's right. Hey.
We'll get some of them oxtails.
All right. That's the deal. I worry for my son every moment he's not in my sight, and I probably should worry for him even when he is. I don't think that, honestly, unfortunately, I don't think that our time is any worse. In fact, I think it probably is the same as it has been for decades, or maybe even 100 years. It's just that now we get to see it because of cameras, because of people being, vigilant in recording these things. And I just pray, like Tanya said, that police officers would be taught, although I don't understand why they have to be taught, to see us as the human beings that we are, and to show compassion just the same way they would hope their sons and daughters would be shown some compassion in certain situations.
Well, you saw in New Jersey where they jumped on the black kid and left the white
And
kid.
that's like 10 miles away from my house. That's the place that we are. And when I saw that, my blood ran cold.
And that was
in the sunny island of Barbados. But it really was shaking to me. Anyway, we don't have enough time to cover that right
now. All right, thanks to everyone for watching our show. We really do appreciate and love all of you guys. Thank you, Pamela Jones. Pam, we still have to do the bump. Pam and I have a bump date.
A bump date.
Keith Weston, thank you so much for dropping in. Donna Haygood, you were there, but you didn't comment as usual. Probably busy, but thank you for checking us out. I hope I'm getting this lady's name right. Marcharisi. R-E-S-E. Marcharisi. I'm going to go with Marcharisi. Keith Weston, I think I mentioned Keith again. I'm not going to get everyone, but Anthony Robertson.
Anthony, what's up?
R.S. Staley, thank you so much for checking us out. TW from YouTube, thank you very much, brother. He said he dropped in late. Gina Fiore.
Gina.
Mexico. Go to bed.
Mexico.
She's Gina's in Mexico. Gina, the traveling woman.
Yeah, she is.
Patricia Felix, thank you so much. Kevin's better half.
Yes.
Why? How was that? Kevin. Okay, Patricia. Kevin is Patricia's better half. That's right.
That's it. There it is.
We always put the guy down. Like I was watching the video the other day, and they were talking about men and women dating, and the girls were saying when a guy and a woman go out, the woman is the prize. Guys should know that when you take a woman out, she is the prize. You should be happy. She shouldn't have to pay for anything. You should just be happy to be in her presence.
Facts.
Yeah, facts.
Women should be happy to be in my presence.
Yeah.
We need to have a show about that.
Happy to give the present. We don't need to be happy to be in the presence.
We need to have a show about that. Yeah, we should have a show about that. Yeah.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Valentine's Day.
Oh, we passed. Oh my gosh.
No. You don't need every day is Valentine's Day when you talk about Black love.
I never understood. That's a pet peeve of mine. It's women sitting there with their purse closed when the check comes.
Why don't even start that conversation. Yeah. That's another topic, and we definitely need to do that one.
We pay the ultimate price with you guys.
What is the ultimate price?
Yeah, have some men on that believe that.
We're going to get into that later. Pamela Jones agreed with me. She's laughing. Laughter means agreement. Women should pay.
No. Nope. My daddy said never pay.
What?
Unless it's your husband. Nope.
Never pay.
Not never. If it's your birthday or something like that, maybe a little something, maybe. Yeah. But not never. Ladies, don't do it. Don't bring us. Keep me back in the 1800s with that one. I'm old school.
All right.
The door, the whole nine.
All right. TW is laughing at what Kevin said. I guess when Kevin said he's the prize. But
I saw Patricia, she's the prize.
I know, right? Kevin's pretty hot. I'm not gay, Kev, but
Kevin, yes. When I saw you in person, I will say, lady, Kevin is just as handsome in person.
Yes.
And I was very shocked.
I look good for 90 years old. Thank you.
Yeah, you look very young. He does.
Lots of water and sea moss.
All right, everyone. Thank you for watching the show. Thank you for checking us out. We'll be here again next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Remember to like us on YouTube,
subscribe,
share, do all the stuff to get the show popping. And I want to big shout out to the Information Man. That brother is doing some really great stuff on his channel. So go over to the Information Man show on YouTube and check out his channel. Yeah. And thanks again, folks. And we will see you next week.
Next Wednesday show gonna be fire. Don't miss it. I'm telling you. Bring the heat.
Yes.